Good morning, it's the Yorkshire Trekkers, and today we're doing a 4.5 mile walk just outside of Haworth, and it's the Ponden Reservoir and Bronte country. Now there is a few places of interest to see on this walk. There's Bronte Bridge and there's Bronte Waterfall. A lot of it is, we're assuming it's moorland. We've never actually done this walk before, and obviously the reservoir and a river, a small river or stream. But guess what, I'm not alone today, because
guess who's back? Back again. Sam is back. Back trekking. Sam is back. 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 Sam is back.
So yeah, our Sam's back at last. Yay! So yeah, we're the Yorkshire Trekkers, and we're going to be doing this nice little walk. It's about 4 degrees. It's quite overcast, but it hasn't forecast any rain, so we're hoping that rain stays away. Anyway, without further ado, let's get trekking. So behind me is Ponden Mill. It's just like a little cafe, and there's a car park here, so it's free parking if you want to park in here. Now the walk doesn't start here, this is just where we've parked, but the walk starts up at the reservoir. So we're just on our way now. We're just walking up this little track outside of Ponden Mill just to get to the reservoir, the starter's walk. So, just from the reservoir, there's a little bridge that crosses over it, more or less opposite this little track up here. This is where we're going. It's the start of this walk, 4.5 miles to go. So we came up that track and we came to a kissing gate. Go through the kissing gate and then you turn left, and we're now heading up to Buckley Green. So we just passed this lady with the horse, and we just stopped 5 minutes talking to her. And she's just like give us a little guide to whereabouts this path's taking us, and basically it's taking us round this house here. She's telling us about this house on end which we go around, and apparently it was owned by a guy called Feather, and he is or was the last weaver around this area. He used to have a loom upstairs and worked from there. So yeah, she says it has got quite a bit of history. She didn't go into too much detail, obviously. So what we're doing now is going round the back of the house to take us on as walk. She did mention a little shortcut, but it looked quite hilly, didn't it, Sam? So I thought, well, we'll go round the house. We'll go the way that the map and the book is telling us. Because I'm really confident that this time we're going to do the walk, we're not going to get lost, and we're going to do it by the book. That's why I was just checking map a minute, because as soon as I've just said that about getting lost, we basically come to a signpost. Now straight up, quite a steep climb. It's pointing to Pennine Way and Bronte Way, which we do think it might be that way to go, but there's a track that leads up that way as well. That just says public footpath. So I'm leaving it up to our Sam. So if we get lost, it's her fault. Which way? Well, that's I'm saying, up that steep hill there, Bronte Way. So let's go. Reached more or less the top of this hill, and there's some fantastic views. Beautiful. I was messing about on that rock, as you just seen, and just looking around. Beautiful, fantastic. So we basically came to like a crossroads. The route that we've got in the book carries on right, but we want to go to Bronte Bridge and Bronte Falls, so we've had to go straight on at that crossroads. It's taking us over this moorland, and basically we'll go to that bit, we'll have a look around, take some video. So we've now come down to the bottom of this valley, and that's Bronte Bridge. I know it's not much to look at, it's only like a little paving slab, but obviously it has history, and I'll tell you about the Bronte sisters in just a minute. But first let's have a few shots of the falls, and we'll lark around here for a bit. And here we are, Bronte Falls. Obviously I'm not going to get too close to it. It's just nice to be around it and get a feeling for it. So basically what we've done down at Bronte Bridge, we've just sat down on this rock, and we've had a little cup of tea, and it's beautiful down there, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah.
It's absolutely, yeah. Even where little Bronte bridges, there's a couple of little steps down, little mini waterfalls if you like. And I know I said it in the Addingham walk when I was against Riverside having a cup of tea. It's lovely to hear the sound of rivers and streams, just right relaxing and calming. Right, so for those not familiar with what Bronte is about, I know I mentioned at the beginning that the walk is called Ponden Reservoir and Bronte Country. Well, Bronte refers to mainly three sisters. There were a couple more sisters and a brother, I believe, but the three sisters, Emily, Charlotte and Anne. Is that right? See, young'uns probably won't know. I mean, I've only researched this morning about it. I had heard of Bronte sisters, but I didn't really know much about them. Anyway, there were three sisters, and they were authors, and two of the most famous works, I can't tell you which one wrote which, but they have been adapted into films, is Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. I'm sure you'll have heard of them. But yeah, basically the sisters wrote those books. I mean, obviously we're talking years and years ago, in 1800s. The significance of Bronte Bridge and Bronte Falls, to be honest, I can't quite remember what it was, but I'm assuming they used to come down here and sit round here somewhere and take inspiration from the falls and the stream running under the bridge.
So if anyone's got any knowledge of Bronte Falls, then you can feel free to tell us.
Yeah, because I ain't got a clue what I'm on about. So yeah, we've spent a little bit of time down here now, we've took some video, and we're going to head back up that hillside. We're both not looking forward to that because we know how steep it was coming down. We've got to go back up. But yeah, basically we're going up that hillside again, and then we can get back onto the track for his original route. So a lot of these signs actually have Japanese writing. They're basically directions in Japanese, and if you're wondering why, well, basically the Bronte sisters have a massive following in Japan. Mr. Sun, hey, at last the sun's come out. So behind me is the building Top Withens, and we've come from all the way down there up quite a steep hill to reach this, and basically it's an old farm building, and the sign behind us, it actually states that this was probably the inspiration for the novel Wuthering Heights. And it mentions the Bronte sisters that may have come up here and, you know, like I said, took inspiration. I mean, the views over the moorlands, outstanding, to be honest. Absolutely spectacular, I'll show you. As you can see, it's beautiful. We're now right on the top of the moorlands. Fantastic views all the way around, but it's now very, very windy up here, blowing a gale. Luckily I've got my dead cat, and hopefully it's blocking all this wind noise out. I feel like I'm shouting actually. I feel like I have to talk over the wind. Me and our Sam's just been talking about where we're going to have as tea and soup. And at first we said, oh well, we'll be alright on top of moorlands, but now we're up here, I'm not so sure we really want to. So while we're at Trig Point, we've been looking around and over in distance, them clouds there, over over there. It does look like there's rainfall. It might skip past us, we don't know, we're hoping so anyway, but there's a little chance of a bit of rain. Right, so like I say, we're right on top of moorland and we've reached Trig Point. What is that? Hey! So we're right at the top. We can see all the way around. And I keep repeating it, but there's fantastic views. The wind is really strong up here though. We did actually sit down and get like a little bit of a banking. We thought, well, we might be alright here having something to eat and drink, but it's just too windy. So we've decided we're going to just wait that little bit longer till we head down, try and find a wall or something that we can shelter behind. So now it should be downhill because it's been all been uphill on it a minute, Sam. Yeah. Pretty much. Well, it kind of skirted past us, but it was actually an hailstorm, and it did get us a little bit, but not much, not enough to get us wet through. But we've just come to some rocks now, and we're hoping that we can get down here and get sheltered, because it's coming dark again and it's hailstoning, so we're hoping that maybe this will just bypass us. But yeah, we're just going to see now if we can find some way to shelter here and hopefully get us dinner. We're more than halfway around now, but we still haven't had out to eat and drink, other than a little bit of pop and a bit of tea down at Bronte Bridge. So finally we've got settled down among these rocks, and it is a little bit sheltered. There is still a little bit of wind getting through, but it don't matter. We've got some nice views over at moorland. Anyway, we're going to start with soup. But what we've asked Grandma and Grandad to do is do us a bit of a challenge, a soup challenge if you like. In there we have some soup, and me and our Sam haven't got a clue what flavour it is. So Grandma and Grandad have made this world famous homemade soup, and we have to try and guess what it is. Now Grandma has written it down on this piece of paper and sealed it, so if we can't guess what it is, then we can open that. Well, we're going to open it anyway and find out if we're right or not. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do, obviously, is smell it and see if we can guess from smell. Now, my mum was eating this up when I went this morning, but I couldn't actually tell. I didn't get a good smell at it, so I am cheated. My first guess is potato. Yeah. Some kind of potato.
Leek.
Potato and leek. Could be, yeah, it could be. Right, so do you just want a little bit first, in case you like it? Yeah. Right, so she has added some pieces of meat on that one as well.
I think I'd say leek. Leek, yeah.
I don't know, I can't.
I'd say carrot, but it'd be anything.
Yeah, I thought carrot, but it'd be orange, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to say potato. Potato and carrot. No, I've never heard of potato and carrot stuff. Thought that one, you know.
Carrot.
I'm going to say potato and leek, even though I can't really taste leek. What are you saying?
I can taste it. Or I'll say potato and carrot.
Potato and carrot, and I'm saying potato and leek.
Yeah?
Let's find out. What could be completely wrong?
What could be? Like,
Drum roll.
I couldn't read what she put there. Right, well, leek and potato
Yeah.
with, I think it's sausage added. Show it.
You guessed it, yeah.
Thank you, Grandma and
Thank you,
Grandad.
Grandma and Grandad. It's lovely. Anyway, after all that walking, you know what time it is? It's grenade time. So, what we're doing another little challenge, I suppose. We're going head to head. We've got this grenade bar, which is fudge brownie flavoured, and it's going head to head with what our Sam's bought.
With PhD Smart Bar.
PhD Smart Bar. It's time to go head to head. I'm going to open grenade bar first. Look at that. Lovely. You have that half, Sam? So I'm going to try it. We're both going to try it. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Fudge brownie. There's a thumbs up from me.
And a thumbs up from me.
That's 2 thumbs up. So next up is PhD. It's what? Some Smart Bar.
PhD Smart
Cookies
Bar.
and cream flavour. Oh, look at that. Tell you what, look at that.
Tastes like soap.
Well, I don't like it. That has got a really strange flavour to it. I can't decide if it's nice or not. It's like, it's chocolate and chewy on the outside, but in the middle it's like a crunchy bit, isn't it? Like a
Tastes a bit like coconut actually.
thumbs down from me.
Yeah.
How about you, Sam?
Thumbs down.
Sorry, PhD. Disgusting.
Without a question.
Grenade, still haven't let us down. You're the top protein bar makers. So anyway, we've been fed and watered. I've had a bit of a laugh. Sun's come out now. We did have a little bit of an hailstorm as we were filming actually. I don't know if you caught it on camera. But we're going to pack up and then we're going to get walking again. Well, this isn't much fun at the minute because the book does say to walk across this moorland, heather moorland, with no particular path, and we're heading down to what we think is a marker post, but it's quite treacherous really. I mean it's really soft, it's uneven, you can't see the floor as such, you don't know what you're stepping on. I mean, I don't know if there's any adders out here, but if there is, we're just walking through this heather and hoping for the best. So yeah, basically that little marker post there, that is what we headed to, and we have found a footpath. You can see it steading into the sun. But yeah, this is now going to take us down the valley and lead us back down towards Ponden Reservoir. So far so good. Our Sam's doing well. Fine. I mean, that would have been a bit bad, wasn't it? Having to cross all that heather.
Yeah.
It would have been a bit dangerous, really. right down inside this valley now. We're heading downhill, and as you can see, that's Ponden Reservoir. So, you know, we are getting closer to the finish of us walk. Been a cracking walk, hasn't it, Sam, so far? That's some filming there. You know, it's been one of them walks, it's had a bit of all sorts really, even though it's been a lot of moorland. We've had good paths to walk along, we've had bad paths, like down this valley especially. Paths have been really bad. We've had heather, moorland to walk through, and but it's been lovely. We've been out 5 hours actually. It's but I mean, a lot of time spent filming and stuff, so this part of the walk, certainly for anybody who hasn't got an expertise like myself, we're right on the edge of this sheer drop. I mean, it's lovely for views, it's absolutely gorgeous, but I just don't feel comfortable doing that. So we're now off the moorland, and we've come to, it's like a farm track. We're heading down to Ponden Reservoir. We can just see it just there. So we're not far now, about a quarter of a mile, and then we're back. So anyway, we'll cut it short, show you a bit of scenery before we do a review in car. Well, we've just got back to the car, and we set off about 10:30ish, and we've just got back. It's 4:15, and that's just 4.5 miles. Well, that's what the book says it was. It seemed like a lot longer than 4.5 miles to us. Saying that, I mean, time-wise, obviously we've been stopping and filming, so that does take a lot of us time up. But even so, the walk, it did seem to drag on and on. That's not a bad thing, because it was a lovely walk, and especially up when we were top of the moorland. What fantastic views there were. Coming down the valley, again, there's some fantastic views over towards the reservoir. We walked along those cliff edges, quite air-raising at times. Our Sam were brave enough to go down to like a rock that stuck out. I didn't. No, I didn't dare do it, because I'm clumsy, that's why. I might trip up and fall over. There is a variety of different paths. You know, you've got moorland, you've got rocky paths. Coming down the valley, it was like a gravel path, but the gravel were big stones like that. That were quite hard going. Fields, even duck boards at times when you're having to walk past the shooting butts. But we both really enjoyed it. We're shattered now. It has took it out of us. Weather's stayed fine. Like I said earlier, there were a little bit of hailstone, not very big, but the biggest part of it, we were sheltered where them rocks were having us dinner. So we can't grumble at all at this walk. It's been a really, really good walk. That wraps up this walk. And I'll tell it again, it's the Ponden Reservoir and Bronte Country walk. It's from us book, and it's based just a little bit further than Stanbury, which is just right next to Haworth in West Yorkshire. But like as always, if you've enjoyed it, please like, subscribe and share it. We are gaining a little bit of momentum at the moment, and hopefully it'll gain a bit more as we go along. But for now, from the Yorkshire Trekkers, see you later. So basically the sisters wrote literacy. Literacy? So basically the three sisters wrote literary. Which one is it, Sam? Which is right? Literacy. Oh, literary. Literacy.
What's that? What are you saying?
I don't know. So basically the three sisters wrote stories.
Literature. 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 That's it.